Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, man. I missed the lights, the
Yeah.
camera.
The action.
The action.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
You always get action with big faces around.
You do, don't you?
Yeah,
You're an action-packed man.
I am.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. I'm actually not an action-packed man at all. I just stay in my house all the time.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
action
Action happens. Yeah.
Action happens, man.
On that monitor.
Yeah.
On that widescreen monitor. Yeah.
Yes.
I have a new favorite word, Kyle.
Mm.
That I really like, but I want you to try and guess what that word is. And the reason I say that is because I did use it with you today once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying because I feel like if you use a new word, it's the kind of thing I'd notice as well.
I think you did notice it, and now I think if I say it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember you saying
probably. The fact I'm on like 3.5 hours sleep ain't helping. Let me take a wild guess here.
Think about what word I used on our phone call earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to even remember the phone
Did
call.
any word stick out?
You really don't, man. I'm just thinking now.
I say this is a new favorite word of mine, but it's been a favorite word of mine for a while.
But, so have you used it before, yeah?
No, I was reignited. I was reintroduced to the word yesterday, and then I used it today with you naturally, because I'm like I'm like a fish to water when it comes to.
Yeah, you're a vocab whiz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should be the one running a copywriting agency, not you.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and guess. I literally cannot think of like a new sort of word you use to tell me. But the second you tell me, I'll remember it.
Clandestine.
Oh wait, I did not hear you say that.
What?
Clandestine.
I said clandestine. I was like, we were speaking about the thing.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, you did.
So it did stick out.
Yeah, I think okay. I remember you saying that, but I don't remember the context of that.
I said
sentence.
you were like, I said I'm not gonna do it in a clandestine way.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, I remember that now. Define that because I'm not even.
Well, now I might
expose myself here.
Yeah, well, you know what I might end up doing? I might end up using. Well, when I said that word, you responded to it like you knew what I was saying.
It must be one of those ones where like my level of vocab is so good that I don't even realise that. Oh yeah, clandestine. Oh,
yeah, of course, yeah.
But no, if I heard it in context, then I'd understand it.
Yeah, because I think you heard all of the context.
Yeah, you don't want to do it in a clandestine way. So I knew what you meant by that because I knew the context of the conversation.
Yeah.
But if someone said to me, define a clandestine like that, I'm not sure I'd be able to do it.
So now I'm scared that I'm going to say the opposite of what it is, but I believe clandestine is just undercover.
Okay.
Secret.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's often used in
Should we
like
double check that?
documentary. Yeah, double check it. But it's often used in like documentaries and like the CIA and stuff like that. That's why I hear it's like, there's a clandestine group. It's like an undercover group of CIA agents. Like you hear that in like documentaries and stuff. I'm just gonna put the fire out.
Yeah, please do, man. I was hoping. I put my hoodie on. I was hoping you're gonna put the AC on. Yeah, kept secret or done secretively.
There you are.
Okay, so you used it like fantastically.
I dare you to use. Is your missus gonna be awake when you go home?
Possibly.
If she is, I dare you to use it, but before the night ends.
Yeah, I will do that. I think that should be like an ongoing challenge where it's like we just give each
Use
other
a
weird
word,
vocab.
weird vocab and see if like they don't pick up on it. Yeah. Use the clandestine and see if you just completely get away with it without even anyone saying.
All right.
Without us saying, what does that mean, or why did you use that word?
Yeah, and you'd be like, what word?
We should also try. Do you know what we should actually do? We should actually challenge each other to use words that don't exist that sound like they exist.
Okay, well, look, I want to make up a word for you right now that you have to use with your missus.
But it has to sound like it. It has to sound like it.
Right.
I'll get away with this one.
All right. Figuratively.
Fine.
All right. Just go. So you got to use
Fine. I'm going to use that.
sentence. Yeah.
I'll tell you next week. I'll tell you what.
Like next week, figuratively. If we were to go over there.
Yeah. Figuratively. Yeah.
Figuratively.
Yeah, I'm going to use that. Right. Let me write that down.
Yeah. Don't forget that. That'd be funny if it's actually a real word. It's not though. Figuratively. Figuratively.
I'm trying to spell it the correct way, as if like there's a correct.
It's basically figuratively, but I've just jumbled it.
Yeah, figuratively.
Yeah. Okay. So try and use that one.
Yeah, but I'll try not to use it in the context that you use figuratively because it sounds too similar.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with what my definition of that is. Nothing to do with figuratively.
Yeah, I could be like, do you know what? I feel like my beard is just a bit messy, and there's some figuratively lengthier hairs. Than on one side than the other side.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do about that? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that'd be good.
So clandestine's where I went with. I picked up on again yesterday. I was re-invited, reignited, reconnected with that
where
word.
did you find it? Did you read it?
On the telly.
On the telly, yeah. Clandestine,
Yeah.
figuratively.
That's the only place you hear clandestine. But yeah, how have you been, bro? So I've been away for 3 weeks.
Well, tell me about that. Like,
Yeah.
you went to London, come back.
Yeah, so how have you been? Back to me.
Yeah.
I've been away for 3 weeks.
I mean, I've just been here.
Yeah.
We'll come back to me, but I want to. Because we spoke about it briefly at the mall.
Yes.
But I want to know, like, you went, you re-experienced London after
Yes.
being here for like what 6-8 months.
Yes.
What stood out?
Oh, mate. What
Talk to
didn't
me.
stand out?
Yeah.
So obviously we took a couple of weeks break off the Fresh Ground as well.
Yeah.
I've been in London and then I was in Morocco, and bro, -4 degrees. I went there and it was minus. I say -4, so that -4 was extreme. Like and again, it can be misleading because you know when you get in your car and it says -4, it might not actually be. But I'm gonna go with that, right? So
Yeah.
I got in my car at one point, it was -4, and I forgot stuff like the fact that you have to sit in the car for 30 minutes, like, and wait for it to cool down, heat up. Heat up. And the windscreen stuff. And I've invested in the, what's the antifreeze thing that instantly unfreezes your windscreen stuff? I've got that spray.
Antifreeze.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But bro, regardless, it was, that kind of stuff. So the experience I had was, I went from, when I left Dubai, it wasn't this weather yet. It was still very
Summerish,
hot.
yeah.
And then landed in London, and I just apparently I happened to be there the 2 weeks that it was just freezing, because I was like, oh man, I forgot that London was this cold. And some people are like, oh, you've only been gone 9 months, like,
Yeah. You get used to it.
But do you know what? But I forgot how. But I forgot. I couldn't remember what the normal cold was in London.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this what it used to be like? It's so cold.
Yeah.
But then what happened is, bro, I did that 2 week stint where the whole 2 weeks is frozen. I was sleeping in hoodies, and bro, the heating in our house is good. And then I went to Morocco for a week. I came back for 24 hours, and in that week that I'd gone Morocco, the weather had gone back to normal London weather, which is cold, but like 10 degrees, 7 degrees, and it was lovely. It was really nice weather, and I was like, "Oh, this is London weather." I genuinely just happened to come on like the 2 coldest weeks of the year, basically so far, when it was snowing and stuff. So it was cold and stuff. But then when I came back, it was nice. But yeah, generally, bro, it wasn't a bad experience. It was nice to go there, see family, and it was nice to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, it was just like I couldn't wait to come back and stuff."
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that you can't wait to come back to, and this is going to be wherever you are in the world, is your own home.
Yeah.
You got your own, way of doing things. You got your own cupboards. You've seen how organised my cupboards are, Kyle.
Oh yeah.
It takes. It can be frustrating living out a suitcase
For
when
sure.
your cupboard is that
Yeah.
organised.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it was amazing, but yeah, it's enjoyable.
That's good, man. I remember when I used to live in London, right? The winters, I used to live in South Woodford, and I was once upon a time in a very good routine of waking up at like 6. There was a masjid near my house. I'd go play Fajr. After that, I'd go and like start my day. And I remember my rule was, if it's above 7 degrees, I don't need my jacket.
Don't use your.
I don't need my jacket.
Wow.
Oh, it's 8 degrees. I can get away with just my t-shirt.
Right.
Right. If it's below 7, it's like, oh, no, I need the hoodie. So
That's ridiculous.
it is, but I was used to it, and it was just like I could do that.
No,
So-
for me it's ridiculous. Like as in like for my body.
Yeah.
No way.
I don't know. I guess I was just used to it. I mean, in fact, I wasn't in a t-shirt. That's not a t-shirt. I was in like a very light hoodie, but I don't need a big jacket. Sorry. So I'd have a t-shirt and a very light hoodie, but I wouldn't put a big jacket on if it was like 8 degrees. But if it was 7, I'd put a big jacket on. That's what it was.
There's a guy in my neighborhood, by the way, in London, who no matter what the weather, he's in shorts,
Yeah.
and I think like either no t-shirt
Like a string vest.
or or like a t-shirt max.
Yeah.
Like really short shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like 70 years old.
Okay. I mean,
And he's been in that neighborhood. I've lived in the same neighborhood all my life. So like 29 years. And for 29 years, it's been like that.
I could kind of see it, man, because again, like I was kind of used to it to that point where it was like 8 degrees. I'd go out and it was basically like, it was lighter than this. Like it wasn't a hoodie. It was like a t-shirt.
Wow.
You know, those really thin hoodies that are like barely even putting them on. It was like that. So, but now
That sounds trendy.
a
A t-shirt hoodie.
Listen, mate, I was not a clandestine person when it came to fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
tell.
like out there,
Yeah.
right? But here now, I think the temperature right now in UAE, Dubai is like 18. Not 18. In the night time, it's currently 17.
Oh, really?
I feel cold, bro. Like I feel cold like I did when it was like 6 degrees.
Yeah, same.
So it goes to show just how much like your body adapts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I sometimes go out now in my car at these times. I put the heaters on in the car, even though it's 17 degrees. Yeah, because I'm cold.
I don't even know how to put the heat
Bro,
in.
17 degrees. Yeah, you'll learn. But 17 degrees in London, that's like, oh mate, roll the windows down.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
But here it's like I'm putting the heaters on, man.
What you've also got my mind though is that the countries are made for what the norm is in the weather. So
Yeah.
in London, it's so cozy in winter when you're in the house because the houses are kind of made for, like, you know, the ceilings are low to keep the heat in.
Yeah.
And the heating, there's heating in all the houses. Whereas in Dubai, obviously, there's no heating and there's AC.
Yeah.
In London, there's no AC, there's heating. So here in the winter, I've noticed that like your feet get cold on the tiles and stuff, and
Need little slippers indoors.
yeah.
Getting old, isn't it?
Bro, I have
the old
kids.
loafers
yeah,
on.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Do you wear slippers in the house?
No.
Are you like a barefoot guy? Oh, I think we've had a discussion before about socks, isn't it? I mean, how rude you were to not wear socks.
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. I'm either socks or bare feet, but like, my missus wears slippers in the house, and I just find it awkward to wear slippers in the house.
Yeah, same. I like the idea of it, but when I'm actually doing it, it's just like, it's just really, even when it's cold, I find them like annoying and sweaty.
Yeah.
But one thing I hate is if I'm wearing socks in the house and I step on like a little bit of water, like I'll go to the kitchen. Oh my days, bro.
And if you've already done wudu that day and you're just planning on wiping
Bro,
with your socks,
it's enough to like send me over the edge.
Yeah.
It's really, so for that reason alone, I don't wear socks. If I step in water, it's gonna annoy me. Whereas if I'm barefoot, it wouldn't annoy me that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I generally tend to make wudu and then put socks on.
You
Because I'm that lazy.
I've
I'm
noticed
that guy.
about you. Well,
You said you noticed that about me.
Oh yeah. One of the first ones about when I met you.
Yeah, this guy makes wudu with socks on.
Yeah. This guy wipes every socks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have I ever told you the story about how I learned how to wipe over the socks?
No.
Oh, this is a great story.
Go on.
Oh, Kai, you're in for a treat.
Hey, buckle up here.
So when I used to work at Apple,
Yeah.
I obviously I was new to practicing religion, and I was maybe like a year in or something. And growing up in a Pakistani household, it was not the norm to know, like wiping over the socks was not known. Praying with shoes on, no way.
Yeah.
Praying without a prayer mat, no way. Like we just had these things in our culture, and
Yeah.
so I was like, "Oh, sweet! Like I can just make wudu with my socks." So someone once told me something like, "You can make wudu with your socks," yeah. And I didn't even know what fiqh was at that time, probably. So I never even looked into the fiqh of it or anything, right? So these times I'm working at Apple, and you're on the shop floor 8 hours, 10 hours at a time, and you're just walking around, you're on your feet, right? And bro, I started getting really bad athlete's foot. Okay. Really bad, to the point where, so it was infected, and on top of that, it would hurt to walk because it was so infected. But I'm walking all day long, and that was my job, and so that was tough. So then eventually I went to the doctors and I said, "Look, this infection's getting worse." Blah blah. Like I think I'd been a couple times to doctors at this point, and we were just experimenting with loads of different creams. And at one point, the doctor said to me, it was like the third cream we were using. It was like a passing comment while I was on my way out.
Right.
And the doctor was like, "You don't by any chance like put your socks on straight after the shower or something, do you?" And then, bro, a light bulb switch happened. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know why I've got this issue and why I've had it for like 6 months." What it is, bro, is I used to at Apple go to the back to make wudu, and
Oh man.
you know what I used to do, bro? I used to make wudu over my sock, just like how you'd make it over your feet.
Okay.
The bottom, the top, up to the ankle, loads of water, and then I'll be putting that wet sock foot back on my shoe. I used to hate it, but I used to be like, and I used to hate it, but I used to be like, you know what?
Better to take my sock off though.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't say sock off.
At that point, bro, just take a sock off.
Yeah, I know. I used to hate it, but I used to do it because I was like, it is what it is. I'm trying to practice the religion. You know what I mean? Like,
fine.
There's going to be things about the religion.
You thought you were getting like extra reward maybe from doing that.
No, I didn't do it for extra reward. I was just too lazy to take the sock off.
Fine.
But I was like, the thing I didn't like was putting my wet sock back into my shoe. But I was like, it is what it is. Like, there's going to be things that is like Allah says in the Quran. Like, there's things that you like that may not be good for you. There's things that you don't like that will be good for you. So it's like, so I was like, whatever, bro. when she said that, I was like, raw. And then I thought to myself, I couldn't connect the dots. I was like, Allah wouldn't make something advisable, for example, or something wouldn't be the sunnah if it like would be bad for you. So I was like, I must be doing something wrong. Maybe it's like the type of sock, maybe like I'm not. So then I ended up looking into it, and that's when I found out that you only wipe over the top of the sock.
Yeah.
I was like, this makes so much sense. I can't believe. And so as soon as I started wiping on the top of my sock, the athlete's foot went, bro, obviously, because it stayed dry.
Yeah, because you weren't like giving yourself trench foot.
Like, bro, like, and I worked at Apple for like a 9-month period from September to March, so the whole winter.
Yeah.
So you're doing 4 prayers at work.
Yeah.
Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha.
Yeah.
I'm making wudu 4 times, bro.
That's
walking
mad.
around in that sock for the whole time.
Yeah,
And but Apple, you're not allowed to. Well, at the time, I wasn't allowed to. We weren't allowed to sit either.
How are they with prayers? Like, they're good if you like going to pray like in the back or something.
They were okay. So basically, the way I did it is I went through the whole interview process because it was 4-stage interview process, and then after that interview process, and so I didn't want to make them. I didn't want to give them an excuse not to hire me. So I didn't mention anything, and then. I got the job obviously, and then I got called in to the Regent Street store to come in and sign my contract. So on the day I come in and sign my contract, pen in hand, contract in front of me. Just for a while, I looked to the guy who's hiring me. I said, "Oh, by the way,"
Oh, yeah.
I said, "Oh, by the way, I need to pray like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not always going to be at work, but it might be like twice at work or once at work or whatever. And I just want to make sure that like I can get 5 minutes to pray."
Yeah.
And then at that point he was like, we'll just treat it like when an employee goes to get water or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it turned, bro, I had a really enjoyable experience actually at Apple, because what ended up happening is not only were they completely fine with it, no manager ever had an issue with it, but all of the security in the Apple store were Muslim. They were either Pakistani or they were like, there was one revert brother and who was a black brother, and Pakistanis, and I think that was it. Maybe like an Afghan or something, I can't remember. And so, bro, we would
Pray Jama'ah.
pray Jama'ah and stuff like that. It was lovely. It was really nice. And so praying, no issue. And generally speaking, bro, like when I found out, because I was early in practicing when I was at Apple. So when I found out about stuff like riba, I found a way to make sure I never do any contract plans.
Okay.
Because it's rare, but sometimes people come in and they'll buy an iPhone on contract.
Oh,
that's
was it rare? I
interest-based.
would have thought that was quite common.
It's actually quite rare, bro. Surprisingly, because you can do it online.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So the way I used to get away with it is, people used to come in and be like, "I want to get a contract," and sometimes you can sense when someone wants a contract, right?
Yeah.
In a weird way, like the questions that they're asking, you feel like one of these questions is going to be. So then I would like kind of like shift over to a new customer. But generally speaking, what I'll do is if somebody asked me about contract, there's like a whole list of paperwork you need, and bro, 99% of the time, people have not come in with all of their paperwork ready, because you need a bank statement that's like not even been printed at the bank. It has to have been sent to your house. At that time, it had to be like sent to your house.
Oh, what? You ain't got your mum's birth certificate? Oh,
bro,
get out of
man.
there.
So I used to be like, right, have you got this? 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 And I was like I would like do all these tests first, and then like I'm like, sorry, you can't. And then like or like go to the bank, come back, or whatever. Or I would be like, oh, do you want to go for? I'll like try and convince. I'm like, you know what? Right now you can like, or I'll just try anything.
Don't be dumb. Don't get a contract.
Come on, listen. Between you and I, but anyway, I got away with pretty much not doing any contracts when I found out that they were interest based. I probably shouldn't be saying this on public podcast, but
bro, it's been like years.
It's been many years.
Yeah, man.
There was also but look, generally speaking, in terms of like the religion stuff, like, now that I'm out of there and I've like been, as you know, at the time, by the way, there was a opening for, because the Dubai store hadn't opened yet. There's no Apple Store in Dubai. The Dubai Mall was the first Apple Store in Dubai. Actually, still is the only one, isn't it?
No, one in all the Emirates.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. At the time, there was none in Dubai. And so at the time I was in Apple, they did like this company meeting. They're like, listen, Dubai is opening a store and they want people from here to come over there to like train their staff and to work there and live there and stuff like that. So if any of you guys are up for it, if you guys want to, you can like apply. Yeah. And I was like thinking, I might do that.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah I didn't, because bro, I'd have been on retail salary like here. I'd been probably struggling.
No. They must have, because if you're going to come as like a trainer, then you probably would have put on.
I don't think it was trainer, sorry. I think it was like an experienced person from the UK kind of thing.
Like an intern.
Yeah, not an intern, but like.
Does anyone want to go for free and not get paid? Yeah. Right. Yeah, no. I mean, if they were framing it as like some sort of like training position, that probably would have been like well paid. But if it was just like, yeah, like you're just going as a retail guy, you probably still would have made like a bit better than the UK because of tax savings, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think.
And I imagine Apple would have sorted out your accommodation.
I was going to say, like, if you're getting like retail salary, and you're an expat, they'd have to sort out your accommodation.
Because it's not just like you know retail, and like you're selling like shoes at a shoe stop. It's Apple, isn't it? So
people don't normally come here as an expat to work retail unless they're like management or something,
yeah,
or they like training.
I imagine you're going to put you on like the managerial guy. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just like.
I should have taken them up.
Yeah, you should have done. Yeah. You should probably get back in touch with them.
Yeah, but I remember some positive things to close off that conversation, because I remember that there was this one sister who started praying because she gained the confidence to pray because she saw us praying. So it goes to show. Don't ever be scared to like practice your religion, man. Like, don't let it be a blocker for you. You're going to be in situations, whether it's at work or so. And I remember, I'm not saying it to gloat, but I think there was benefit in the conversation in this day and age.
Yeah.
I had a full-time job, which was Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 40 hours a week or whatever. And I said to my manager, is there any chance I can just basically always get Fridays off because of Jummah? And I just never thought about it until I was in the job.
Yeah.
I was like, I need Fridays off every week. And they were like, you can't have Fridays off. They can't guarantee you're going to get Friday off every week. Like, every now and again you can request a day or swap a day, but they can't confirm that it's always going to be available swap for me. I was thinking, you know what, I don't want to risk it. So they were like, what you can do is lessen your hours and work part-time. So I went from something like 40 hours a week to like 32 hours a week or something like that, 4 days a week instead of 5. I was like, sweet. And then I could just always have Fridays off. So at the time, it wasn't ideal because I was getting married and stuff like that. I was happy to work 5 days a week. I just needed Fridays off, and then I could work Saturday or whatever. But they couldn't guarantee it.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, here's a good lesson: is that I did that, inshallah, purely for the sake of Allah, and it ended up working beneficial for me because of the way tax works. I ended up like falling into like a lower tax bracket, and so the amount I earned, whether I was 5 days or 4 days, was basically the same amount of money. So Allah allowed me to basically work less, earn practically the same amount of money, and go to Jummah. So and at the end of the day, even if I was earning less, like I'm sure there'll be more barakah in that.
Yeah, man, that's amazing, man. I love hearing stories like that, and I've heard and experienced so many similar stories where it's like someone's done something for the sake of Allah, and if they either got the same or more, you know, indirectly, directly later on. Alhamdulillah. On this topic of like
now you tell me one of your good deeds. No, on camera.
Yeah.
Let's ruin it for you.
Yeah. Well, okay, money, right? We spoke about this a couple of days ago. We were exploring this topic of like, when is enough, isn't it? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And I wanted to circle back to this. Because, to be honest with you, it's probably quite fair to say like everybody listening to this, everybody watching this, if you're watching FG, you're in a relatively good situation, right? You're like, you've got a phone, you're probably like top 5% in the dunya in terms of like income, right? Doing quite well. What point, you asked a question to me and I don't really have a good answer to it, but I think it's a good like time to explore the potential answers. At what point do we just say, yeah, I'm content with this and I don't need to push myself anymore, right? I think that's the conversation we're having. I was thinking to myself, I want to try to make myself content with what I have today, whatever it may be. But I still want to be ambitious to say, like, you know, I'll still work for more, but my being content won't be dependent on that working or not. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I want to. I'm not saying I'm there. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to try and get to.
How do you find that balance? How do you do that?
I'm not saying I'm there. Firstly, I don't want to say, I've mastered this thing. How
do you suggest you do that? So you want to be content with what you have, yet strive for more.
I think that first one is key, right? So whatever you have right now, you have to try and say, look, even if you're struggling, even if you consider yourself to be struggling, right? Some people in the UK especially, like they're struggling to pay their heating bills and stuff. you have to say to yourself, even though I'm struggling, I'm not comfortable in the way that I'd like to be, I'm happy with what Allah's given me and I'm grateful for it. And I don't need more in order to be grateful, right? Because if you're grateful, you're content.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't be grateful and ungrateful at the same time, or grateful and unhappy at the same time. If you're grateful, you're essentially, wow, alhamdulillah, I've got a heater to try to pay to heat me. Some people don't have a heater. Some people on the street, some people are dying, stuff like that. So once you reach that level of like, I'm grateful for whatever I have, I think that's like 90% of it, innit? Once you get to that point. And then it's like, okay, I'm content. I don't need more to be grateful, but I'll still work hard so I can be more grateful for whatever Allah gives me, if Allah gives me any more.
Yeah, that actually reminds me that it's like being content is a command in our religion, and striving for ihsan is a command in religion, and the two align there, don't they? You can be content with what you have, but be like, I want to achieve excellence. And the result of excellence, generally speaking, if you're doing something in like the dunya world, the result of excellence happens to be financial.
Yeah,
if you're like the best
in a way, yeah. I mean,
if you're the best coder in the world,
yeah,
you're probably going to be in a pretty good job.
Not bad. So basically, what it is, yeah. Only Allah knows what risk is written for us, right?
So,
right? You don't know. All right, I'm going to start this business in January, and I plan to make this, and you don't know if it's going to work or not. It might make you trillions. You might lose money. So rather than myself doing that and thinking, man, if it works, I'll be so happy, or if it works, I'll be so content, and then I'll relax. And it's like, no. What I have today is what I know Allah has written for me. I've got it. Allah's given it to me. Allah may have written that I'm not going to lose it all. So I should be content with what I had today, happy with it now, because there's no guarantee that I'm going to get any more than this. In fact, my risk could just like plummet, could go the other way. So I need to practice. I need to be grateful to Allah today, now, while still trying. But my contentfulness and my happiness is not depending on that working, because I haven't got any knowledge that it's going to work. Do you know what I mean? So why would I condition my gratefulness on that? You know, I should be grateful to Allah. Even if I lost everything, I should still be grateful. So be grateful now, and if you get more, then alhamdulillah, it's just more things to be grateful for.
Yeah, I think also it's important to reflect on the non-monetary things that you have to be grateful.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden, I was thinking today, it's like the end of the Gregorian year, and it'd be good to maybe like make a video about this year, because it was probably, me and my wife were speaking, and I said to her, this was probably one of the most, and I was careful, I had to be careful with what I was saying. I had to very quickly follow it up, because we've had kids and been married and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, this was probably the most like important year. Like when I'm 80 years old, I'm probably going to remember the year 2022 the most and the clearest. And I had to really, really follow up, because I know you've had kids and stuff, but it's like, you have kids, that's a normal thing normal people do, generally. You get married, that's something that normal people do, generally.
Forget this marriage for you, that's normal.
Yeah, but no, exactly, yeah. But moving entire country, and then in the middle of it, like, switching your career in some way and stuff like that, and setting up a like business and all this kind of stuff. This is, and then like trying to put your kids in a new school. This is like an unnormal thing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like generally speaking.
It really is, yeah.
And there was a lot of struggles at the beginning, and then there was a lot of like there's highs and lows essentially. And so I don't think I could forget this year.
Yeah.
And then so the point of that is I was walking back from the masjid and I was thinking, like it'd be good to make a video about this year and just maybe mention that. Like I was thinking the title of the video would be like 2022, the best and worst year of my life, because it's genuinely been one of the best years of my life, with the move to an amazing city. Obviously the like countless other things that like we've been able to do together, and the roll at Tartil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bro, there's been a lot of hardship, and there's been a lot of hardship. And then I thought to myself, that's a really bad thing to say, like even to suggest that it was the worst year of your life, because well, first of all, there's been a lot worse things that have happened, but then secondly, if I literally just reflect on the fact that I had my health throughout the whole year, that in itself is actually, there was nothing bad about this year, because when you're tested with your health, bro, it's a different thing. And so that's a perfectly like good way to if you're struggling to be grateful, literally the fact that you're breathing, the fact that you have not got some health conditions that other people have is a good enough reason to be grateful.
A bit even bigger test and trial would be a fitna or a test in your religion.
Yeah.
Like this is like there's like that's monetary is like lowest one. There's like health, and it's like your deen.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there, alhamdulillah, you're being steadfast in your deen, you're establishing the prayer and stuff. Then just for that, what a huge thing to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we can't thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enough just for that. You know, may Allah keep us steadfast and give us long lives full of good deeds. But yeah, just that. Forget health, forget monetary. If you've got that, think how blessed you are, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like especially in this day and age, bro.
Yeah.
Big 2023 coming.
Yeah. 2023.
Gregorian.
Yeah.
Who's Greg?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who Greg is. But the point is, if you've got that, alhamdulillah, man, like you are extremely, extremely blessed, you know, and you've got to try and die upon it.
Yeah.
And if you can, you're not going to care about your paycheck or
the Rari.
Or the Rari.
Yeah.
Or the Bugatti.
Yeah.
Would you get a Bugatti?
I would get, of course.
If you were like a multi-millionaire, would you get a Bugatti? I personally don't think I would get a Bugatti. It's $5 million for like a good one.
I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't say I wouldn't get one. Right now, no.
For me, but let's just say you got $100 million, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So you're saying would I spend
5%.
5% of that?
Yeah.
Well, would I spend 5% of my money right now on a car?
That's a good question. But the thing is, I feel it's like, have you heard this concept?
And I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Have you heard?
I don't know what 5% of my money is. I don't even know what 100% of my money is.
I was going to say, have you heard this thing? This rule or law, whatever it is, law of diminishing returns.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
All right. So I got familiar with it when I was buying a coffee machine. Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you buy a coffee machine, there's like the cheaper ones, like cheapy. Then there's like Nespresso, which is like getting more expensive. Then there's like the really expensive, like home type ones. And then there's like the ridiculously like, oh, this is like the coffee shop would use this. And then there's even beyond that, there's like industrial type ones where it's like not even a coffee shop uses it. Crazy. And it's like costs like $50,000, right, to get this thing. The middle type ones where it's like at home and like a little bit at the coffee shop, that sort of range, that gets you extremely good coffee.
Yeah.
Right? For about between maybe £2,000 to £5,000. Extremely good coffee.
Yeah.
You can also spend £50,000 and the difference between the two quality is tiny.
I see.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like...
I think I'm getting I think I'm understanding the law here.
Yeah.
There you go. I think I see where you're going with this. Yeah.
The difference between the sort of the middle one and the bad coffee machine is quite big.
Yeah.
Even though the difference in cost isn't huge.
Fine.
But over here you can 10x the cost and it's only a tiny bit of an improvement.
Fine.
So I feel like the Bugatti is similar as like, I could buy like a 200 grand car and it would be a very good car. Or 5 million is like, bro, what's
the difference might be small.
The difference is small. It's
maybe,
a lot of money.
Maybe.
And also on this whole million thing, yeah, I keep hearing this, I keep forgetting it. If a million, I hope I get this right, if a million seconds is 11 days, right?
Okay.
That's what it is. A million seconds is 11 days. How much time do you think a billion seconds is?
Oh, I've heard this before. It's like a big difference, right?
Blows my mind when I hear it.
I don't know. How much is it?
Take a wild guess.
Well, okay, I'm going to be a good dance partner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Be a good dance partner.
11 months.
Mad. 34 years.
That's mad.
Bro, 11 days to 34 years. That's how big
a million and a billion is.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why I said that, but I always blows my mind when I hear it.
Yeah, because when you hear that, like, I don't know, Jeff Bezos has X amount of billions, it is hard to understand how much that is.
It goes over your head, like, oh, it's a lot of money. But
it's but 1 billion would be like, insane. Bro, speaking about money, I today, so first of all, freshly grounded coffee, coffee beans.
Okay.
Freshly grounded, grounded coffee beans.
Yes.
Let's speak off air. I might have a thing. Yeah,
I like
there could be something that we could potentially go down to start getting to. I'm not talking white labeling like random coffee machines.
No. If I'm talking, you know me. I'm about my coffee. Bro.
Let me tell you something.
Go on.
Best coffee you've ever tasted.
Okay.
And there'll be our beans.
I'm on it.
But anyway, we'll talk about it. Anyway, completely different subject.
Yeah.
I was at the coffee shop that you and I both love today, and speaking of money, the funniest thing, the most embarrassing thing happened. So I went there, and as you know, the guys in there know us, the baristas know us, and we know them and stuff like that. So like I walk in, and I'm like, it was June on the behind the hills. I was like, he's like, hi sir. I was like, hey June, have a cortado please. And then I just kind of like walked out like to sit outside. And then sometimes you pay them when you're ordering it. Sometimes you pay them after. It's whatever, right? Like they know you, all that kind of stuff. So, but I never forget to pay. Is the point. Yeah. And so I walk. So I'm like, hey June, I'll grab a cortado. Walk out, and the owner of the business is there. And now him and I have been bumping into each other here and there, and having like small 30-second conversations. And I saw him. I've obviously been away for 3 weeks. I was like, hey man, and then he was sitting there just enjoying his. Literally his beverage that he owns, and I was like, I'm sitting here. He was like, no, so I sat with him and we spoke for about half an hour. Really lovely conversation, and he was like, "How's London?" I don't know. I was away for the last 3 weeks and stuff like that. I was asking about his various businesses, and lovely guy. And I drink my cortado as I'm with him, and we're done with the conversation. Half an hour later, I pick up my cup and I throw it in the bin because I'm thinking I'm sat with the owner of this establishment.
Let me show some respect.
How disrespectful would it be if I leave my cup here?
Slack it off the
exactly,
table.
because I ordered it for takeaway, so it's in takeaway. So anyway, so I take it to the bin and I walk home. I'm walking home and I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, I haven't paid for this coffee. And I felt so, I was like, I come here all the time, the one time I don't pay for the coffee is when I'm speaking to the owner and he's probably thinking, did this guy just pay for his coffee? Or did he it makes it look like I think, oh, I'm pally with the owner. I just had a conversation. I'm not paying for this coffee.
Free coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm assuming it looks so much. I rang them like on my way home. I was like, listen, I forgot to pay for my coffee. I'm going to come back this way later and I'll pay you. Yeah, I did, yeah. So.
Bro, I'm so forgetful, and alhamdulillah, being here has saved me a lot. And I'll give you 2 examples very recently. I went to the mall and paid for I went to Home Centre, I got a couple bags of stuff from Home Centre, right?
A couple of bags, yeah.
Yeah, as you do. Went to the car, put my daughter in the car, put the
bags ain't going to fit in the car.
Didn't even get that far. This is how like...
I'm going to need a plane for this.
This is how clumsy I am, man.
Fine.
Put them down like next to the car so I could put my daughter in. Close the door, I jump in, close the door, drive off. Right? When I get home, I realise I put them on the side and I left them there. But I knew... It's Dubai. It's going to be there. I don't usually go to that mall that often, but when I next go, I'll keep...
It'll still be in that parking spot.
Yeah. No, I knew the security would get it and put it somewhere.
Fine.
Right? I didn't have the receipt either, but I know like my phone number is linked to the receipt, and so I can do stuff. So yeah, 2 weeks later I went back and just like went to the Lost and Found. It's like it's there.
Oh really?
Free. Yeah.
Oh, sick. Why did it take 2 weeks? You got bags of stuff from Home Centre. I would have gone back straight away.
Bro, I'm very lazy.
Really?
And I just knew it would still be there because I've done this so many times. I wasn't even concerned that it wouldn't be there. I just knew, all right, they're storing it for me.
Have you ever dropped your daughter to the nursery and then like driven all the way there, dropped her, driven like all the way back, and then they've called you and be like, she's got temperature, I need to pick her up?
I always stay around there.
Oh, do you?
Just in case, like, not just in case, because it makes more sense, but that would be very annoying.
Oh, but it happens to me more. So those listening, our kids go to the same nursery. So I dropped Zachariah. And for me, it's a half an hour drive.
Yeah.
I drove half an hour there. I drive half an hour back. As I'm like approaching the exit, they call me. They're like, Zachary was complaining that he has a headache. I was like, he doesn't even know how to complain that he's got a headache. How did he do that?
He's saying his headache was a bit clandestine.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. He's figuratively telling us that he's got a headache. So I was like, okay, fine. And they're like, so we have to do his temperature. We checked his temperature and he's a bit, he's got a bit of a temperature. Can you come and grab him? And I was like, and then you know when you in your head you're like you having a giraffe, but I was like, yeah,
of
no
course,
problem.
Yeah, sure, I'll be there soon.
Oh, bro, so next exit, U-turn, drove half an hour. I said 2 hours of driving, and it wasn't even 9 a.m. And I was like,
and Zachariah is like not at school either,
bro, and he's completely fine. Like I'm driving over, like, hey, daddy, like I'm like, cool yourself down. What did I teach you?
Yeah, exactly.
I hadn't, because you know. I hadn't checked his temperature that day because he was fine. He didn't seem hot. So I don't wake up my kids I don't every morning like put a temperature gun to my kids' head, like check their temperature.
You got like a COVID test at their door.
I want them to go nursery. I'm paying for it.
Pat them down, making sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's jokes, man.
That is frustrating.
Kids, it comes on very quickly. Sometimes it would have happened after you dropped them off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had similar stories like that. Many times I've just like left stuff at the mall, bruv. When I first moved here, like the first couple of months, I had my my rucksack with my laptop in it, wallet, everything like that. We went to one of the city centres. And when I got home, literally when I got home, again, it's like 20-minute drive home. Got home, went to get my bag out of the back of the car. And I realised I left it in the prayer room of the thing. And I was just like, back then I was panicking because I'd only been there like 2 months. I didn't really realise how safe it was. So I've rushed back and it's literally still there, like untouched, alhamdulillah. But I've done it so many times now. It's literally to the point where if I leave my bags in a mall, I'll just leave it there until I go back because I know it's going to be there.
Sounds like you need to...
It sounds like I need serious help.
A bit less forgetful.
It sounds like I need some serious intervention.
I get that it's safe for him, but it's just inconvenient for you to keep leaving your bags
It
everywhere.
really is, mate. It really is. But unfortunately, I've become so accustomed to it. When growing up, I had a nickname in my family of what would translate to as like...
Clumsy.
Yeah, clumsy.
Loser. Go on.
Idiot. No, like a Turkish word, it's called, what are they called? It's called shashuri,
okay.
right? Which basically means like someone who's always rushing and they're clumsy.
Fine.
Right?
Fine.
And I haven't,
completely unrelated to a shakshuka, which is a breakfast
correct
dish.
A good breakfast dish. But unfortunately unrelated.
Fine.
Yeah. But I do like a good shakshuka.
Yeah, I went to a breakfast place recently and I took my missus out and I ordered a shakshuka and she ordered something. And the wait, when the waiter is a bit too helpful. Like, I do like to ask the waiter's opinion, like, oh, what's popular here? Or what's like, I do like it when they're like, oh, this will be popular, you should go for this. But this guy went from going from, you should go for this, to like customizing my meal for me. Like, no, you must get like, no, you're getting it like, and I was like, dude, like, thanks for the recommendation, but let me make my own decision. It was a lot, man, so.
Yeah. I was going to say...
That's an art, isn't it? Being like a person in the hospitality industry is real art because you got to look at each individual person and try and suss what they want. It's like being a cab driver. I find that like if you're a cab driver, you've essentially got to be open to having a conversation with the person and open to staying silent and judging it based on the vibe that they're giving you.
Yeah, it got to be good.
If they're looking for a convo, you give them a convo. If they're looking for they're getting their work done, you let them get their work done. I think being a waiter is the same. Like, if I'm inviting you to like, what's a good dish? Give me my good dish. Like, if I'm like super like make the dish for me, like surprise me, then go extra. But
I feel like a lot of the time it's the manager's fault, because after a while you understand that all these waiters like following like a script, right?
Fine.
You serve the food. 2 minutes later, you got to come back and ask him, is it good?
How is
but
it?
Bruv, the food is in my gob.
Yeah.
I'm chewing it.
Yeah.
And you're asking me like, bro, let me finish the meal. When it's done, you can ask me, because if there's something wrong, I'll tell you anyway. If there's a hair,
but I think most people like you will tell them, but I think some people wouldn't.
But if they're not, you interrupt them, it's not going to help.
Yeah, it's true.
They're not going to suddenly feel, I'm so confident now that I've got my half mouthful interruption going on.
I used to feel that at Nando's in the UK. Here, I don't think I've experienced that as much. I think like for me,
it's
people have seen that I've finished my food.
They've seen how intimidating you are.
Yeah,
I'm not going to ask. No.
Yeah,
You ask him.
We'll wait for him to finish his food. Yeah, let the big man eat. Yeah. Let the big man get his nutrition.
The last place we went out, you actually like, as soon as there's an issue with my plate, you jumped up and like attacked the guy. You're like, yo, you didn't order that.
I've been to that place before and the food is great.
Yes.
The atmosphere is great.
It is nice.
The service can be a bit like, not bad, but like it's a big place and they don't necessarily frequent all corners of that restaurant.
Yeah.
So you either wait for them to come back to that area or you get up and get on. And so,
So in that particular case, just to let everybody know, I pointed to a picture.
Yeah.
In this particular menu, it was a picture. I said, I want
So we
that.
went for breakfast.
Went for breakfast. It was waffle and eggs, right?
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was nice. I hung back, very nice. And on the picture, it's got waffle and eggs. It's got the hash browns, mushrooms, and the bacon, right?
And sausages as well.
And the sausages.
Don't forget the sausages.
And the sausages. Yeah. And of course, alhamdulillah, halal. And I pointed to it, I want it like that. I want that one, yeah?
Yeah.
He's asked me something. English wasn't the best. He's like, oh, do you want it without the without? And whatever he said, right? And I was like, no, not without anything. Like, exactly like this picture is. All the
this
trimmings.
Picture?
Yeah.
Nothing
exactly
more.
like that. And he was like, okay, done.
Yeah.
Right? My man brings it with nothing except the eggs and the waffle. And I'm like, kind of hungry, and he's only bought me half my meal.
I had already tried this dish like some months back, so I wanted you to enjoy it.
And bro, you did, because as soon as you realised that half my meal was missing, you jumped up and went and got him. Alhamdulillah, they sorted it out quickly. But yeah, first world problems, man.
Yeah, because when I went there, then I said, "Oh, my friend ordered this dish, and you bought the dish, but just the waffle and the egg."
Butchered it.
And he goes, yeah, because he said just this, nothing else. And I said, no. He said, like, this picture, nothing else. Like,
he said
this
everything.
is how I want it. Yeah, like, I just want this picture. Like, whatever's on this picture,
literally what I said.
bring this picture to life in front of me on the table. They very kindly like got it all done.
Yeah. If I was running a restaurant, which I've heard is like we should never do.
The most difficult thing. Yeah.
I would tell my guys, don't talk to them when they're eating. Just let them finish eating.
I'm sure they do tell them that, and then sometimes they get it wrong.
I feel like telling them the opposite, bro, because it's like it's such a like not just here but everywhere.
Yeah, it has happened. Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, bro, I'm literally eating. It happened to me just today, in fact.
Oh, we'd be the worst at running a restaurant. I'd never wish that upon myself.
Yeah, I think I'd be I wouldn't be good. I'd be like Gordon Ramsay, like in the back, like screaming.
Oh yeah, but do you know in like America, you see that like if you can't afford it, you wash the dishes. Do you think that's a real thing?
I don't know, man.
I'm sure that's not, is it?
I wonder what would happen
if you can't afford it. You're getting arrested.
Here?
No, generally.
I guess so. I mean, it depends on the restaurant.
What, you bought something and you're not paying for it?
I guess so. I suppose...
If it was my restaurant, I wouldn't say, I'll go and wash the dishes then.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'd say, do you know what? I've got staff that I pay to wash those dishes.
Yeah.
The dishes are fine.
Yeah.
You pay for your meal.
Yeah. You got a new bill now. Instead of paying £12, you're paying $9.99. And I'm calling $9.99. and they're going away.
Yeah.
To prison.
Yeah. For life. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what would happen here. It almost happened to me once when I went to Ras Al Khaimah. The way my bank account was set up at that point, it was weird. I had the wrong currency on the card that I had.
Oh, okay. So
right?
Genuinely how your bank account
legit,
okay,
legit how my bank was set up at that point. Right. And I didn't have any other cards on me at that particular restaurant, right? Yep. And I had to I had nowhere to pay. I had no cash on me either at that point. And I was like, and they were very chill about it. And I just had to run back. I had to I can't remember how I did it. I had to do an exchange online. I had to do a transfer online. So I had to go online, wait for the transfer to come through and do it. But for a while, it was literally like, wow, I cannot pay for this. I've got no way to pay for it. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But alhamdulillah, sorted out. I think I would have done I would feel I would have left. Because I could go back to my hotel and got it. So if I left my phone there, maybe it would have been chill. But this is UAE. Like, there's a bit more civilness going on. In America, I don't think they let it fly.
You know, America has a tipping culture. Like, it's by standard, you have to give, not have to, but you basically have to give. I was speaking to the guys at the hotel. I was like, what is this tipping culture like in America? And he was like, yes, like, the standard is wherever you go, you give 15% tip. So if someone's charging you £30, they're expecting you to pay don't look at me, £4.50.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big tip, isn't it?
Yeah, they're expecting it. Because he goes, I go to the barbers and it cost me $30 and I pay $35. And I said, what happens if you don't pay it? He goes, you pay them and they wait for the tip. And if you don't pay for the tip, he goes, if you don't pay the tip, they'll say, was there something wrong with the haircut? I was like, really?
That's weird to me.
Because you see, it doesn't exist. I said the closest you come to that in the UK is that there's a discretionary service charge added to your bill. Yeah. And I know people who even will say, excuse me, I'll pay it, but just wipe this, I won't pay that. Do you do that?
They pay 20% on it though, usually, which is crazy.
Do you do that?
No.
Do you say to them?
I say take it off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unless I'm really impressed, unless it's been really great. If the service hasn't been really great, I think I have paid once or twice. Maybe.
I wish I said that more because I don't pay it because I'm like, oh yeah, service was great and I can afford it. I just pay it because I'm like, I just don't go for the effort of being like, hey, can you clear this? I have once or twice done that.
Yeah.
When I first found out you can take it off, I did do it a few times, but now I've become lazy. Like I went to London this time, I had a meal and genuinely I didn't like the service.
Yeah.
And I was kicking myself after for not saying that because like, do you know what happened, bro? Yeah. I know this episode will sound a bit snobby, but bear in mind...
Yeah, I think it's like the snobby episode ever done.
The snobbiest episode, yeah. But bear in mind...
They got my order wrong.
Yeah. No, but bear in mind, when you're going to an establishment for food, it's not something that we do every day.
Yeah.
No, joking. It's not something you do every day. And so... why are you laughing? You probably do it every day. It's not something you do every day. And especially when you take your wife, you're planning a nice night out, you go for food, right? Yeah. So you're paying extra for this extra service. It's like you're paying for service.
Yeah.
So I take my missus out. Oh my days. It's probably not going to sound as bad as like what it was, but anyway, I took my missus out. Went to Central London. Went to a nice restaurant next to Selfridges.
Wow.
We'd heard about.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were just going out like down the road. But okay.
We'd heard about this place, went for the meal, and we did something really normal, which is, I can understand it's a bit annoying, but still normal. We said, she took the order, or she said something like, do you want, like, while you're deciding, do you want like water or anything like that? So I was like, yeah, we'll have a large water, 2 cups. And then she was like, all right, cool. So she went away. Within 7 seconds, my wife, so she's gone away, this waitress. Within 7 seconds, my wife's gone to me, should we just get tap water? Yeah. Bearing in mind, because in Dubai, we don't drink the tap water. So I, for 9 months, haven't drank tap water, so I'm not used to that. But in London, we drink tap water. Well, I don't know, some people don't. We do drink tap water. Do you drink tap water? Am I weird?
I grew up drinking tap water.
Fine.
But in London, and then I moved to bottle like later on, but I would drink it.
Fine. So I've grown up drinking tap water, still in London, still would drink tap water in London, right? I'm going to get so many hate comments. Have you seen the Thames?
Yeah.
I remember I stopped drinking tap water for a small period of time when somebody told me about the levels of...
nuclear waste.
What's the female hormone?
The fluoride.
No.
Oh, estrogen.
Estrogen.
Okay.
People like there's estrogen in tap water.
Probably.
So don't drink it. And I started looking down at my man boobs and I was like... rather than going to the gym, let me just stop drinking tap water. Right. Yeah. So, but anyway, I was back to tap water. Yeah. So anyway, I'm losing focus here. I went to the restaurant. My missus goes to me, you know, you can just have tap water here. So I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, so I was like, and so my missus was like, oh, excuse me, forget the water. Would you get tap water? Bro, this whole thing happened within 60 seconds. Yeah, From her asking us what we want, me saying bottle of water, to my missus going without tap water instead. Bruv, the woman comes back with the jug of tap water and she goes, I think I said something like, I don't know, I didn't even say this. But basically the woman comes back with a jug of tap water, she goes, next time just mention it at the beginning because she said mention at the beginning because I did put it through the system and then you have to cancel it all and it becomes like it's already gone through the system now and stuff like that. Bro, and I was like, what?
Not my problem, mate.
Yeah. I was like, it's such a normal thing. Bro, go to any place ever and be like, well, actually, we did tap water. No one's going to say anything.
Exactly.
Bro, she made it a thing. Like, she had a bad day or something. She made it a full-on thing.
That annoyed me.
And it really annoyed me that she said that. And when she left, I said to my missus, I said, that was a bit of a, like, I don't know if this is a swear word. I don't think it is. Like an RC comment.
Yeah.
Is that a swear word?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It's just a bit like obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like, because even the tone in which she said it, she was like, next time.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and I was like, what? So anyway, I ended up paying 20% service charge.
Oh, my days, no. See, in that situation, I've had situations where they've put the 20% on and the service has not just been like average, it's been like not that bad, but just like they barely looked at us. They just come once to take the order, never came back. I was like, bro, why am I paying service charge for what? Like, there was no good service here. Oh, they come to the table. Oh, hi, my name's Alice. I'm going to look after you today, and they, talk to your kid or whatever. It's like, okay, at least they've done something extra. Yeah. But bro, don't have the audacity to do it. Like you literally just come take the order, and that was it. So yeah,
I got my son got given a Christmas at this other restaurant. My son was given a Christmas toy package, right, which they give all kids.
I would have crushed it
with like a Christmas hat and stuff in it. Okay. And so this waiter comes and before taking an order, brings 2 of them for both my sons. But he at this point just gave Zachariah this. Zachariah took it, and I took it off Zachariah and I said no, thank you, and gave it back. And bro, I didn't know how to, because there's a way of doing that which can be good da'wah, and I felt the way I did it, the way it just felt so awkward and embarrassed. I made him feel embarrassed. Obviously, bro, my wife's wearing a hijab, I've got beard and stuff, so it's a bit obvious why I did it. And I did it in a bit of a fast, like, because I didn't want Zachary to get attached to it. Yeah. So I quickly took that Christmas hat off him. I was like, no, thank you. I was like, no, Zachary, that's okay. Yeah. And then Zachary was like, before he knew anything, he was like fine with it because he didn't know what was happening. But then I saw the waiter was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, you know what? From a da'wah perspective, what would have been a better approach? I'm asking you, open question. How would you have dealt with that in a way where you're maybe even making Islam look beautiful to the person? To a person who's like, because that's going to feel cold, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm always finicky with this stuff because I also don't want to express I know it sounds
guilt
cold.
for being Muslim.
I don't want to express.
fair.
I don't want to express guilt, and I also don't want to express the whole. There's this whole culture of, thank you, but I don't celebrate. I personally think that's not even that hard enough. Like, why am I thanking this person again? Like, he said, like, he's talking to me about like this thing that I not just don't practice, I strongly disagree with.
Yeah.
I don't want to thank you for saying it to me, quite frankly.
Yeah.
In the past I've said like, oh, thanks, but I don't. And then like later on I think, why did I say thank you to that? Like, it's not something. But of course we want to. I know you're asking me to make it more beautiful, if anything. Like, I'm not. But I think there is a way where you can like. What I try and do is I'll try to follow it up with like a nice comment, but I'm being very clear that like I don't thank you for saying it to me.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't do that, but I'm not trying to be nasty to you. So I've done something similar, I guess.
So here's what I did in this situation. After I gave the gifts back and stuff, I said, oh, no, thank you. Snatched out my son's hand, gave it back to him. And the guy's face, you could see.
I rate that, by the way. Rated.
So it was just a natural reaction. So the guy, it's just natural. The guy's reaction clearly showed how awkward and embarrassed he felt.
Yeah.
And so here's what I did is I thought, let me make an extra effort to show good character to him now, because I did feel a bit guilty about how maybe like awkward I made him feel. So what I did is the first thing I remembered of good character was say the person's name, which is a nice thing. So he had a name badge on it.
Right.
I think it said Peter. And so when he was like giving us our meal and stuff, and I was like, thanks so much, Peter. It was lovely, really good. Or like he came to us at some point, he was like, how was the meal? I was like, no, I was like, really amazing. Thank you, Peter. And stuff like that. So I was just trying to be extra kind after, and I think I did spin it.
By the way, Peter, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, as I walked out the store, I turned around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not be returning to this establishment.
Thanks to you, Peter. Got Google reviews like Peter was horrible. I mean, the thing is, it's probably again his manager told him you've got to give this to everybody.
But by the way, get up and after. You'll be hilarious. Another employee comes here and serves the food.
Okay.
And he serves the food. Guess what he brings with him?
Oh, same toys.
He brings same toys.
Oh,
I had to do it twice, bro.
This is the thing, I was about to say, like,
but the second time I was much more nice.
Yeah, the manager probably said to him, look, you've got to give these toys to everybody. It's part of our marketing.
Course,
And it's like, you can't. They're probably looking at you and your wife thinking they're probably not going to celebrate this. But it's like,
don't
but manager told me,
yeah.
don't be discriminated. I can't. So they themselves feel like they're in catch 22, which is why when it comes, your reaction was good, which is like, no, which is like, and if it's awkward, it's awkward, and you just be nice to them in other ways.
I think the importance of good character shines at that point. I think be harsh, like you said.
Yeah, man.
And then be good character.
I wasn't.
And being harsh, just being abrupt. Like, no, we don't celebrate.
It's not rude. It's just like,
and then show good character.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good. So we said we'd cap it out now. I do want to end the episode with some quotes. So basically, when the most viral Fresh Uganda clip of all time, go.
Oh, I know. It's I forgot what it was now.
I think it's got over 100 million views.
Yeah, I know. The psychologist guy. I can't remember his name.
No, it's the fireman, Ricky.
Fireman, yeah. Fireman Ricky.
And so he gave a quote from a book which is called "The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse."
I was going to say wolf, but he has a fox.
Yeah. So, the boy, the mole, the fox.
I saw that somewhere else. I know that's been like reshared by so many different big pages.
Yeah.
I saw it like 3 months ago on another page that video alone got like 6 million views.
Yeah, but it gets mad views. But like it got uploaded by this page that also uploaded like a video of like this viral video of The Rock, and like our video was like millions more views, and like it was mad. But anyway, I recently engaged with that book. I actually had never read the book before, but recently, as in like 2 days ago, I did. And bro, it's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. So Ricky said, he was like, "Oh, I never knew anything of the book, other than what Ricky told me on that episode of the podcast." And he said, "There's this book called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and it's kind of like a children's book. It's like it's basically an animation book, but it's used a lot in leadership and business and stuff like that because of the messages within the book." So I came across it, and the where I came across it was on online, and
I was thinking, online or or a book, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So,
the internet.
So no, because I was trying to remember what I was saying to my wife. So I said to my wife, I said, "Oh, this book is the book that Ricky was mentioning," and apparently, I don't know why I said this, but it makes sense. I said apparently, like the messages in there are, if you're reading as a child, it's just a great story, and if you're reading it as an adult, there's really big life lessons, or there's great life lessons, and it's like, and it really was like that. So I'd recommend it, bro.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to read you the quotes from the book.
Go on.
So, I'll tell you which ones are my favourite as well. So there's one quote where, this is one of my favourites actually. I think this is the favourite quote. There's two that are my favourite quotes from this book, yeah, but this is one of my favourites. Are you ready?
Yep, go for it.
It says, "What is the bravest thing you have ever said?" asked the boy. "Help," said the horse. "Asking for help isn't giving up," said the horse. "It's refusing to give up." How good is that?
That's a good quote.
Asking for help isn't giving up, it's refusing to give up.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Because growing up, I struggled to ask people for help. I'd be like,
Because you feel like you're giving up. But it's refusing to give up.
Yeah.
I know I've said that a few times, but that's amazing.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, exactly. What a phenomenal quote.
That is a good quote. You got another one?
Yeah. Are you writing them down?
No. I wanted to give you a quote as well.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. I was like, is he writing these quotes? Okay,
no,
fine.
No. The fact that you mentioned it 7 times, I've memorized.
Fine. There's other quotes. I'll tell you when my next favorite ones come out. Where this one says, "What do you think is the biggest waste of time? Comparing yourself to others," said the mole. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" "Kind," said the boy. I think Ricky told us that one as well. Is your glass half empty or half full? Is your glass half empty or half full? asked the mole. "I think I'm grateful to have a glass," said the boy. This is my second favorite. Like this is on par with the one that I just mentioned. Yeah. "One of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things." I said that to you.
Said that, yeah. I was thinking, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, that's good advice when I gave you that, innit?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I gave you that advice, I felt you deep that advice.
Yeah, I almost stumbled.
Yeah. No, genuinely,
that's good advice.
It was good advice.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from. One of the greatest freedoms is how we react to things. I was like, it's true. Like, you always have, even if you don't have control of everything else, you do have control of how you react. That is true freedom.
Yeah.
So if you can choose to react in a good way to something, or you could choose not to react to something, which is sometimes the best reaction.
Yeah.
"The greatest illusion," said the mole, "is that life should be perfect. We often wait for kindness, but being kind to yourself can start now." I think that's a bit of a dead one.
Come on, mate. Those start now.
Yeah. Okay, this one I love. We have such a long way to go," sighed the boy. "Yes, but look how far we've come," said the horse.
Yeah, I think I've heard that one before. It's good. So I'm wondering how they fit all these like deep quotes into this kid's book. But fair enough, man. It must be a good book.
It does fit.
Is it quite a long book?
No.
Because it feels like every page is like some deep reflection.
Yeah, different story, yeah.
Kids just sitting there like, well, why? Who's talking like this?
Like this quote, it says, "Isn't it odd? We can only see our outsides, but nearly everything happens on the inside." So at this point, the premise of the book is that like the boy is lost and he's trying to find a home. So it's like their journey, and along the way he meets a mole, a fox, and a horse.
Right.
And at this point, he's like looking they're crossing the river, and he looks in the river and he can see a reflection of himself. So he said, "Isn't it odd? We can only see ourselves on the outsides." But another one. "Imagine how we would be if we were less afraid." And this is another one that actually hit me, which sounds a bit sad, but it's true. Maybe because I relate to this a bit in the sense that sometimes I lack a bit of belief in myself. The boy said, Sometimes I think you believe in me more than I do," said the boy. "You'll catch up," said the horse. And I thought that's a beautiful conversation of trust almost. Like the horse is like, I can't talk about horse in such a deep way. Anyway, I'll give you one last one.
Yeah. Hit me.
Actually, I'll give you two more because I think this one's a good one. When the big things feel out of control, focus on what you love right under your nose. I would change that. I would say, when big things feel out of control, focus on what's under your nose. Like literally, like focus on what you can handle right now. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the last one I'm going to give you. It was like the mole saying something like, I know it sounds so dumb me saying this. Here you go, this is it. The mole said, most of the old moles I know wish they had listened to their fears less and more to their dreams.
It's kind of dead.
It is a bit dead, isn't it?
No, but there were some good ones in there though. I thought I was going to say something like, it'd be funny if the mole was just coming out with like riddles.
Yeah.
It's like, does it? Because the mole is like, does it?
The mole said, I don't know if I am a mole actually.
Yeah.
Why am I talking?
If I dig a tunnel, does it have? Is it 2 holes or 1?
Yeah.
The horse is like, whoa. Right.
Yeah,
so 2 things.
Yeah.
One, you've reminded me. When I was a kid, there was a game. I don't know if it was a computer game or like a book, right? I think it was a book. Do you remember it? There's a river.
No, I don't remember. Because you've
All
told
right,
me
yeah,
that.
do you remember that book?
Yeah, do you remember the book?
It's got pages.
Yeah.
There's a river,
Okay.
and I think you've got a boat on the river, but there's only room for one more thing with you.
No, I don't remember this.
Right. There's a sheep there's like 2 sheep and a wolf on the riverbank, and you've got to keep the sheep and the wolves apart, otherwise the sheep will get eaten, right? And it's like you've got to figure out. It's like a puzzle. You've got to figure out, how do I get one sheep across, but without leaving the wolf and the sheep by themselves on the riverbank, something like that. I think it was a book, and it was phenomenal because I think it really teaches you, like kids, like how to think about problem solving. And for some reason, the fact you kept mentioning these wolves and foxes and stuff, it just brought that back to me. So if anybody knows what that book was,
Tell you what, that reminds me of a narration that says, I don't know if this is a hadith or something. If people are listening to this, if anybody's out there, if anybody's listening to this, if there's just one person listening to this, please do put it in the comments, in the YouTube comments, like if it's a hadith or where it came from. But I've heard Sheikh Muhammad Tim mention it a few times. He said, the quote goes, the narration goes, I don't know anything. A pack of a ravenous wolf, or a pack of ravenous wolves, I've not seen anything destroy Iman, or something like seeking fame destroys Iman like a pack of ravenous wolves that have just like come across a bunch of sheep. Right. So essentially, we need to find the exact quote, but essentially the explanation that the Sheikh gave is, he said, imagine obviously a ravenous wolf, extremely hungry wolf, or a pack of wolves that haven't eaten in days, and they've just come across all these sheep like dinner. Imagine the sight about 5 minutes later. Those sheep are going to be destroyed because they're hungry. And seeking fame does that to your Iman, to your deen.
That's scary.
Yeah, that hit me when I heard that one. It hits me every time I remember it.
May Allah keep us steadfast.
I mean,
all right. So now that we're done talking about these moles and foxes, right?
Yeah.
Imam Shafi'i.
Yeah. Fine.
Excellent. Obviously scholar.
Yeah.
Imam, and his poetry is also amazing, right?
Yeah.
He's got one poem that's called "Let Days Go Forth."
Okay.
You can find translations of it. There's different translations that, like, some of the words are a bit different, but obviously the meanings are the same. And it's on YouTube, like there's recitations of it, of people just sort of reciting this as a poem. The end of it is really, there's so many quotables, yeah, but I want to read you out the last few lines, yeah? And it kind of links to what we'll be talking about.
Fine.
Your provision will not be decreased due to life's delays, and it cannot be increased due to your haste. If in your heart you possess contentment, then you and those who possess the world are equal. I'll stop there because it's deep in it.
It is deep, yeah.
There's more to it, but I'll just read it again, right? This first couple lines is mad. Your provision will not be decreased due to life's delays, and it cannot be increased due to your haste. If in your heart you possess contentment, then you and those who possess the world are equal. And for him upon whose horizon death descends, no earth can offer him protection, nor any sky. Indeed, the earth of Allah is certainly vast, but if decree descends, then the world constricts.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah,
That's literally, I think we could like talk about it for days, just like those few lines, and that's just part of the poem. Other parts of the poem are, let your nature be that of kindness and honesty. Sorry, no. Don't be afraid of what happens by night, for the affairs of the world are not to last. And be a man, strong in the face of calamities, and let your nature be that of kindness and honesty. If your faults become too much in front of the people, and you wish that they were to be concealed, then know that kindness covers all faults. And how many faults are kept hidden by kindness?
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, man. The lines in this just absolutely blow me away. No sadness lasts forever, nor any happiness, and you shall not remain in poverty or any luxury. I'll stop there, but subhanAllah, so many reflections could be had on just these few lines, man, and that's not even the full poem.
You know what, bro? I'm going to hit you with one last thing now that you reminded me of
the
something.
fox said.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, a really close friend of mine sent me this video. I'm going to try and...
And it's you and Ricky the fireman.
A grandfather gave his son advice. I'm going to try and Google it because it's a video, so I can't pause this video.
Okay.
But let me try Google it. A grandfather gave his son some advice. Advice, Islam. Let's see if that comes up. And yeah, by the way, if it... the son of... okay, you know what? Oh, here we go. I found it, I think. I think I might have found it. Grandfather's wisdom. Bro, what's this? Have I got... No. Okay, it's just taking a while to load, so you're going to have to just forgive me. But there's wisdom at the end of this. If there's anything worth waiting for, it's this.
There's while that does load, there's this I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but it's one great YouTube channel. It always uploads like old poems, like Islamic poems, like actual poems, and it's like written by scholars and stuff. And there's one where it's just like a man's advice to his son, and it's like 8 minutes of advice. And it's just like literally, and it just
really, I think I might have seen that.
It's so good because it's like it really feels like this is advice for like a teenage boy. The stuff that he just touches on things that like, you know, only a dad and son will talk about kind of privately type of thing. And it's like, whoa, this is like deep, man. This really does feel like personal, private advice, but it's like, it's not general. It's very, very specific. Like
that could have been like a scholar or something.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, because that sounds really familiar.
I'll need to find it again. But yeah, phenomenal. You just reminded me of it. It's phenomenal advice, man. Some of the stuff in there.
This webpage is not loading, so I'm going to try and read it from the video.
Fine.
Because it is really beneficial. So, I'll try and read fast. It says, a grandfather gave his son advice and said, do not excessively praise someone. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, wait, hold on a second. The caption must have written. The captions move quickly. Hold the screen to pause. How do you do that? I know it says hold the screen to pause, but it doesn't let you. Grandson, here you go. Oh, you can do it. Okay. Ready? I can just hold the screen to pause. If anybody here, listen, head of marketing at Tertil, going to give you some social media advice, yeah? Go on Instagram. If you're reading a reel and you can't read it quick enough, hold the screen to pause.
Wow.
It says, a grandfather gave his son advice and said, if you want me to read it in Arabic, go in Arabic. I'm not going to embarrass myself. Do not excessively praise someone that you love. These are all just like one-line advices, yeah. Do not excessively praise someone that you love. And do not accompany one who does not obey his Lord. And do not constantly chatter in gatherings. And do not give salam whilst sitting. Don't seek to be close to a friend who has abandoned you. Don't become negligent or arrogant. Don't become soft or harsh. The truthful one does not swear, and the confident one does not justify. And the sincere one does not regret, and the kind one does not begrudge, and the loving one does not tire. Be as you are, and do not become as others want you to be. Your respect for others does not mean you need them, but it is a principle that you learn from your religion and upbringing. Respect and you will earn respect. Be rich in your manners, wealthy in your convictions, great in your humility. Don't look at the one who talks behind your back. Verily, he is behind you and not in front of you. Don't tell people how much you memorize and read from the Quran. Rather, let them see the Quran in you. Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, help the needy, have mercy on orphans, forgive the wrongdoer, be kind to your parents, and smile with everyone. That's the advice.
That's great advice.
Yeah, isn't it? Each advice is just
very good, man.
Really good, yeah. I think we should end the podcast with that because we have some reels to make.
Yeah.
That, by the way, you can pause on.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was good, man.
Yeah, it was very good, man.
Alhamdulillah.
Appreciate your time.
It's all right.
And I appreciate my time.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.